Hi, everybody. Welcome to our last episode womp womp, of Sign the Traitors for the Traitors US Season 3. I am your host, Katie. I am here again with Javier and Isaiah, my two faithful co hosts. Who's more faithful? You guys or the faithfuls on the show? I don't know. We'll have to find out because they were pretty faithful. We're brought to you
They
by
were.
Silent Podcasts. We're anything but silent. How are you guys?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk about this finale. It was a finale.
It
But what
happened.
it happened, and like it had its good parts and it has its mad parts. So I'm excited to talk about it and hear your guys' thoughts.
How
I
about you,
liked it.
Isaiah? You
I thought it
did.
was fun. Yeah, I did. I think the only part that I can't speak on, I'm a little bit of a fraud because the first episode that I skipped the challenge because I knew I didn't have to watch it. So I skipped the challenge. But everything else I enjoyed. I think the finale is getting a little bit more flack due to the end results instead of the game at hand and the amazing season we just received. But I liked it.
Well, let's get into it because you're right. I think it is getting flack. And I think depending on which corner of the internet you're on, people are either thrilled and super happy and like gloating all over the place, or they're mad, they're upset, they think it was a flop. I'm leaning towards flop because as you guys, I know. I mean, I don't know if you also thought it was a flop, but I know we all appreciate the gameplay. We're here to watch big moves and people make strategic moves, and we're not here to see everybody hold hands and hug at the end of games like this, which is what we got. Spoiler alert. So, I'm fine with it. I think leading up to it was exciting. I think we started off really strong and it just like ended came in with a what is it? With a something and ended it with a whimper. I don't know the actual
And
saying,
with a
but
bang.
yeah, something like
The
whatever,
bang.
something like that. And I feel like that's kind of where we ended up with this finale.
I think that's an accurate take. I'd probably lean towards like the last like 30 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, let's wrap it up. I know where this is
Yes.
going.
Yes.
I
But we got
mean, do
some
we
good
have a
TV leading up. Go ahead.
go for it? Go.
No, you
No,
go.
go.
No, you go.
I
I'm
didn't
just
know if we were going in order for this or how we're doing this
no,
because
we're going on vibes only. Vibes only for the
I
finale.
I feel like this finale is going to be seen in the future for like the catalyst of the season, which is so disappointing for me because I feel like a lot of people have been setting themselves up for weeks knowing who was going to win, and people were still somehow disappointed. Like we've been saying, yo, Ivar's going to win, Dylan's going to win, and some combination of that. I didn't expect four faithful to win, but regardless, I think a lot of people were like setting themselves up for failure and somehow convince themselves that Danielle or Brittany would find a way out of this. And it would have been a unicorn win for sure if it happened. I would have been so ecstatic for Big Brother to finally take home something. But like, let's be real, y'all. Like, I feel like there was no way in hell once Tom Sandoval got killed that there was any possibility of them somehow blowing this to the Traitors unless like Dolores did something delusional or Dylan second guessed himself or like there was just no way in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion, that they could have won this. It was just too difficult of a situation to be in at this point, you know. And I don't know. I have a lot to say, but I don't want to talk for like a half hour. So I'll sprinkle in my comments throughout the pod.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think there's one scenario that was possible and plausible. It didn't happen, but I think if Brittany did not change her vote and then the random, elimination went in Danielle's favor, they would have had the numbers because then a faithful would have gone home. It would have been the two traitors still left. Dolores probably would have stayed and voted with them because she trusted Danielle so much. And then they would have had the numbers going into the final, fire, truth, whatever thing it's called. I think that was a long shot, but it was totally possible. But I think Brittany flipping her vote, which is right where the episode opened up. I mean, like it opened up right away. We saw that vote flip. And I think that was the final nail in the coffin. The only shot either one of them had was if Brittany kept her vote against Ivar. They tied. There was a random elimination and someone else got sent home and Danielle stayed and they would have had the numbers in their favor. That again, it was a long shot, but it was possible. And
Or
in hindsight, I don't
follow
know
me.
why if Brittany feels like there's been exit press. I know that I haven't kept up
Yeah.
with it, but I don't know if Brittany regrets that decision or feels like it was the right move. But I don't
And
know.
listen, Brittany made a mistake for sure. We'll get into her. But like, follow me here. They killed
I'm following.
Tom. When Tom and Dolores was always going to vote Tom, and Tom was always going to vote Dolores. You kill either Dylan, who was such an obvious threat, Gabby, who's an obvious threat, or Ivar, who's never going to vote with you. If one of those three people leave, Dolores and Tom are always going to put their votes on each other, so Dylan or Gabby or whoever will never have the majority, and it's a cakewalk to the end. Like, I don't understand why cut the only remaining beef left in the game. And I know I talked about this last week, so I'm not going to go too long on a tangent, but I feel like even though Brittany did make a big mistake, even if Brittany somehow votes the correct way, there's still a chance that they pick the wrong rock and either Danielle or Brittany go home. Let's say they both stay. I don't see a scenario where the rest of the house keeps Danielle and Brittany still here because people have been talking about how they need to be gone for weeks because it didn't make sense that they were both still here. I just feel like if you just don't kill Tom, everything is easy. Like, I felt like the moment they did that, yeah, they probably would have survived another round, but I don't see a scenario that leads the both of them as the only two people in like that was their whole thing. They want to win together. Like, it's one thing if Brittany was trying to win alone or Danny was trying to win alone. No, they were both trying to win together. And with that as your goal, killing Tom was the losing move to me. Like, if they don't do that, there's a chance. But the moment they did that, there was like a 0% chance of this ever working to me. Like, I don't know. I feel like that was the catalyst for me, but that was just in my eyes.
What do you
I
think,
mean,
Javier?
yeah, I mean, again, like Isaiah said, we did talk. I feel like we talked a lot about this in prior weeks. So the only thing I will say is two things. I think I feel like I've been saying this for a while. I feel like leaving Dylan in the game for so long was the biggest mistake that Danielle made. And I think Danielle made other mistakes throughout this game, but I think definitely keeping Dylan as far as she did really sealed her fate. I think that I agree with, and I agree with Isaiah to the extent, like, when Tom was killed, I think she 100% should have killed Dylan. I feel like she should have seen that Dylan has been like analyzing this game and thinking about it. And though Dylan, like I've said multiple times, Dylan is not always the loudest person in the room, but Dylan, I will at least say Dylan is always thinking about the game more so than most of the other faithfuls. So that, to me, if I were a traitor, would be someone I'd be scared of. Even if they're my best friend. I feel like once she had Brittany in her pocket, like as her co-trader, she should have realized I don't need Dylan anymore. Like, I have my number two. I don't need Dylan as my number two. And I think Dylan should have been gone, and I think that would have been like Danielle's route to winning. But yeah, so all this is to say that I agree with Isaiah to an extent that I do think killing Tom was a terrible move, but I do think just throughout the season I feel like Dylan should have been gone way earlier. So
Yeah, I do feel like
think
Dylan was a blind spot for Danielle specifically because it does feel like he was the leader of the faithfuls. Everybody was saying that for a while. He was kind of the ringleader, especially of the guys. And yeah, he was quote unquote protecting Danielle, I guess, from the other faithfuls, and not really putting her name out there. And like, I guess he trusted her, but I mean, he definitely had suspicions about her. But I do feel like once they realized, that Dylan is in it for the game specifically and not just to make friends. Like, he is not inherently a gamer, but he was gaming, the most, I would say, out of all the faithfuls. I think Gabby played pretty hard. And I think Tom, which Isaiah, I think to your point, Tom did really want to find the traitors. So I don't know if he would have continued to vote for Dolores. I think Dolores would have continued to vote for him. I think he would have gone for Danielle at the next round table. I mean, if you watched their traitors revealed, he clocked her immediately and Brittany. So he knew exactly what was going on, which is shocking to say because he's out to lunch 99% of the time. But he knew it. And I think he would have gone for Danielle at that round table with everyone else if he were still there.
I don't have the biggest problem with them leaving Dylan in so long because I feel like it's a successful strategy if you and the rest of your traders that you're trying to work with are working together. Like, I feel like if Danny and Carolyn never got into their little Scrabble, I do see there's a scenario where Dylan does take the both of them in his little group and eventually wins. I can see him voting out Brittany before Danielle any day of the week, you know? So I didn't have a problem with that. It wasn't up until Danielle and Carolyn started beefing. And we even saw Danielle even throw the option to recruit Dylan. And Carolyn was like, no. Like, I just, unfortunately, since they could never get on the same page and never worked out, like, even Rob, if Rob was there, that would have been good. Like, as if two of the OG traders just like got it together, then Dylan being in the game this long would have never been a problem because he would have just been like the MJ of the season. But since they couldn't get their acts together, and Brittany never really put any work in with Dylan. She was a late recruitment. This was what's Brittany being recruited this late was also a questionable thing, but I'm not going to get into that again. It's just like this was just never the formula of the success with leaving Dylan in this long since you guys couldn't work together, if that makes any sense. It could have been the easy lamb, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it all is so dependent on how all of those roundtables go and who's suspicious of who. Like, yes, it could have been a good move if, the traders had each other's backs and we're going to pin suspicion on somebody else specifically to get them out and then nobody figured them out towards the end. But I still think with the way that everybody was so suspicious of Danielle at that point, one of the traders was going to be going eventually. It was just a matter of which one of them. Obviously, it was Carolyn and then immediately following Danielle. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's also dependent on, the circumstances of how they were playing and what the evidence is. That I do think Dylan had a too strong of a voice for the rest of the group. Like Ivar was following Dylan, Tom loved Dylan. I think Dolores to an extent was listening to she was going to do whatever she wanted to do at the end of the day and vote however she wanted to, but I think Dylan did have influence over her. I think if they would have gotten rid of him or recruited him, it would have been a better decision, maybe than even recruiting Brittany in hindsight. But, Dylan did clock that power. I mean, like, he put it all together towards the end. So I really have to give him his credit where it's due. He did piss me off at the final roundtable, which I know I'm jumping all over the place. But the seer power, he picked up immediately exactly what should happen, what they should do, who they should vote. If Brittany says this and this means she's a traitor. And I was just like, damn, he's so annoying because I was rooting for Brittany. So I was like, stop talking.
Listen, just like Peter, I think Dylan is actually a pretty good player. And I think people give him a lot of crap just because he was close with people like Derek. But like Dylan, like he was a good player. He wasn't like a bad person. Like he was chill all season. Like I don't know. I don't get the Dylan hate. I thought he was just great this season. And in comparison to the faithful that won last year, I actually really liked how proactive Dylan was this season. I thought he had one of the better social games. No one's really talking about outside of like Bob and I guess Brittany, because for one round, Dylan completely had the trust of every single trader, and they were never going to kill him, no matter how threatening he was. Like Dylan was just a fantastic player, and I feel like when we look back on the season, he's definitely going to be remembered as one of the better players for U.S. traders. That is, but I like them.
What are your final thoughts, Javier, on Dylan? I know you've had many throughout. Where did you land on Dylan?
I think I landed on Dylan saying, I think I appreciate Dylan's. So I think I said this last week, but I think Dylan had a great social game. And I think the thing that Dylan lacked for me most of the game was that I just never felt that he had like good ideas, but I never felt like he was actually enacting any plans to get these ideas done. And I feel like that's been my issue with Dylan. But I feel like in the last two episodes, given that he was able to see through Danielle, I think that was a great play by him. I give him super props for that he wasn't able to be blinded by Danielle. Like I love Suri on season 1, and I know we shouldn't be comparing games, but like Suri had these faithfuls so missed that they would have never seen through her the way that Dylan saw through Danielle. And I think for that, I give Dylan a lot of props. And then at the final roundtable, I actually had issues with Dylan because then he reminded me of the Dylan I don't like. And once we get to that part, I'll tell you.
I had some issues. I had issues.
Part of Dylan. But no, overall, I think I'm much more positive on Dylan than I was prior to the, earlier on in the season. I do agree with Isaiah. I do think he's definitely one of the better faithfuls we've seen on the US versions, probably like one of the top 5 faithfuls, I would say, which is also not saying much. In the US, we've had a lot of bad faithfuls.
Yes,
but no, I think Dylan overall played a solid game, and I definitely think he earned his win.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think out of all the winners, we have 2 true winners and 2 hangers on. Ivar, I guess, you know, for all for I'll give him the credit. He voted correctly most of the time. He actually was trying. But Dolores, as Andy Cohen said very clearly in the reunion, voted wrong 8 out of 10 times. So she did not deserve a penny of that money. Even in just the last roundtable, she just said, like, I'm finally gonna vote with my head. And I'm like, ma'am, where you been for these however many weeks we're filming? What are we doing here, Dolores? What are we doing? And it's just so frustrating to me too, because in everybody's exit press, they were all talking about how Dolores was just saying that she was like over the game. She wanted to leave. She wasn't having fun. The game wasn't for her. Then she walked away with the win, which is so frustrating.
Dolores.
I'm not a fan of Housewives on the Traitors, but Dolores, congratulations to your win. Ivar played a great game, by the way. People hate Ivar because he's boring, but Ivar
He
played
is boring.
low key. If you look at this cast, he played top 5 games in the season, and Ivar was fantastic, and he deserved his win. I don't need to see him ever again, but listen, he was a nice guy. He wasn't problematic. He played the game correctly. He started a lot of drama, even if it wasn't intentional. And he voted correctly most of the time. I don't know why people hate on the guy. Like, there's so many people to hate on in any of these seasons. And Ivar is the hill we're going to die on, guys. Like, let's be real. Shout
He
out
did
Ivar.
hate all the girlies in the beginning. It was like, get the women out. Get
Did
the women.
he
He
hate
wanted
them,
those.
or was he
Well,
correct?
why is it correct to say get the women off the boat because they don't know how to row?
Oh no, he tripping for that. I see.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Okay.
one thing. That's one thing. But if you look at the end of the season, there was literally 3 guys left because they just.
That's not what I'm referring to.
That's what I'm saying. There was a method to the match, but no, I don't agree with that. He was being stupid for that. I agree.
Yeah. Well,
he could be furniture. If that's Eric, I don't care. He could be furniture, Eric. I don't care.
he was
He got the
furniture.
money.
He was
He got
furniture.
money. He got the money. All right, and he's gonna go back to his UK castle, wherever the hell he lives, and be richer than he already is.
Not that much richer. It wasn't that much money. They split it between 4 people and they didn't get the full pot. So they didn't get that much money after taxes. I think it's like 30 grand. Which, like, what do you guys think about all 4 of them splitting the money at the end? And again, I know we're all over the place and we're going on vibes, but do you feel like this was the right move here? Would you, if you were faithful, if all 3 of us were faithfuls plus one other person on one other silent podcaster, and we all knew we were faithfuls, you'd be voting someone out, right? I'd vote Isaiah your ass out in a second to get more money. And I would expect you to do it to me too.
I think people wanted more negativity.
Yes.
And
the show's called The Traitors.
I know. Listen, this cast gave you a very hard time to hate anybody that was playing correctly. Like, they want to be able to call someone an idiot. And it's like, damn, they got the money. They actually did something. Like, people are ready to pounce on people like Dolores and Ivar, and it's like, damn it, I can't now because they got money. Like, that's what everybody wants. And it's like, egg on your face, go do something. But
I feel like you're talking to me directly.
Sure, whoever.
That felt personal.
I'm team mess. I feel that. But
yeah,
like, I'm not gonna get mad. Like, if that's how they want to split the money, that's how they want to split the money. If they didn't, we would have been calling them dumb or selfish or like, Dolores, look at you, idiot. Or Ivar,
like, they did it last season. We got it last season, and it gave us good drama. There was 3 faithfuls at the. Well, we hated Trishelle before that. I don't hate her for that. I hate her for my whole lifetime that I've known her
for
on TV.
Being the bitter queen. I can't stand MJ, and I'm so glad she didn't get any money because she was being dumb all season.
Yeah, but it gave us something exciting to talk about.
How dare they betray MJ like that? Because she was being dumb. That's it.
It was fun to watch, wasn't it?
I feel like, last season I was annoyed at what CT and Trishelle did to MJ. But after watching this Kumbaya ending, you really don't know until you don't know, guys. Because now that I've seen both the Kumbaya ending and the like disrespectful CT and Trishelle ending, I'm sorry, like, I needed that little bit of like
me too
joy, that little bit of a mess to like hate on CT and Trishelle for doing that to MJ. Like, I needed something to like, kind of look forward to, talk about, to like think about. Like, I'm gonna look back in this finale and be like, all right, 4 people won. Luckily, one of them was
Snooze.
Gabby, and
Yeah.
whatever. It was a sweet, whatever,
Look.
cute, blah 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 ending, you know.
And you can have that, right? But you like how many episodes was the season? How many episodes was that?
11, 12 with the reunion.
We had 12 episodes, including the reunion, of 11 episodes of pure chaos. You can't just take the one episode that is
because that's the
people
end.
actually doing
We
something.
deserved chaos at the end.
No,
we had it
no,
all
no, no,
season.
no.
It was
Then-
we were
You
flooring it.
guys-
Our foot was on the gas, and then we just
Listen,
slammed on the brakes right
you
before the end of the
guys,
episode.
including the rest of the internet, have been calling the faithfuls dumb all season, and now that they don't do something dumb, you guys are mad. You guys just want to complain. That's what you guys want. That's
No,
what
I
you
want
guys
mess. I want drama. I want controversy. I want something
This
exciting
look,
to watch.
you
This
go
is not
back
exciting to
The
watch.
other 11 episodes. That's what you do.
Well, that's
You
why
look
I
at the
feel
other
like it's
11.
personally, I feel disappointed because the other episodes were chaotic. So they get this, like you said, Javier, Kumbaya ending after this very dramatic, chaotic episode, all these 11 other episodes, 10 other episodes. It's just like the ending doesn't fit the rest of the narrative of the season, like at all.
So what would have needed to happen for you to be satisfied?
Just vote out Dolores. Just vote out Dolores. And I'm good. Vote out
Why?
one faithful because I want to see bitter controversy mess.
Yeah.
How many
You
times,
guys
Isaiah,
are
do I need to
toxic.
say it? How
You
many
guys are
times do I need to
toxic.
say it? It's fun
You guys are
TV.
toxic.
I want fun
It's
TV.
all right.
I want something to think about. I want something to debate. I want something to talk about. I don't.
So
What is there to talk about on a podcast where you're like, okay, well, 4 people got to the end and then they all won because no one voted. Okay,
right, so
podcast
here's a
over.
question.
How fun
Here's
is
a
that to
question.
talk about?
here's a question: does this finale bring down the season for you? Because it doesn't for me. I will rewatch the season. I thought it was great. This is the best US season to me.
I don't think it brings down the season for me necessarily. I don't think it brings down the season for me because I didn't love last season's ending either. I didn't love last season, period, really. But I didn't. The ending didn't make it or break it for me. I think season 1 had a great ending. I think that actually is my favorite ending because of just Suri being able to be the last traitor standing, the Ari quitting. I mean, that was a beautiful ending. That was a great ending to a season that I didn't love, but the ending made the season for me. This season was fun. I don't think I ever need to rewatch it. It just is what it is. But it puts it. It's still probably the top season of the 3 for me. Just a disappointing ending. I'm allowed to be disappointed.
You're gonna hate me, Isaiah, but I fully agree with Katie. I feel like the season 1 ending was great. Like I got to talk shit about Ari. Me and Katie were so annoyed at Ari for just quitting at the end. We were excited to see the face crack on freaking
Andy and Quentin. Yes, Andy. I mean, come on, that was iconic.
Is that not why we watch reality TV
right.
to watch moments like that? And what better way to end the show? Because that's what you remember, Wayne, right? You remember the ending and the beginning of a show most of the time, and to end on that face crack of Suri there, and they're just sobbing and all of them pissed was just. It was a spectacular ending. So I do agree. The ending, these Kumbaya endings do nothing for me. And it's not just on the Traitors. It's on all television shows.
Yeah.
Same thing with I'm thinking of a season of Big Brother right now. For example, I'm thinking of Big Brother 20, where towards the end it was just one alliance just taking each other out. That's not exciting to me. I want to see a back and forth even towards the end of a game. So seeing a game end on positive Kumbaya note just doesn't sit right with me. So, but I don't think it tempers the rest of the season. I do think the other 10 episodes were really good. I think the prior 10 episodes were better than the prior 10 episodes of the first 2 seasons. But I think the ending, if we're just talking about the ending itself, I say the season 1 ending is the most exciting ending for me.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think the finale itself was a good finale. I think the end game was bad, but I think the rest of the episode was a good episode. And that is also why I think it's frustrating because the roundtables were dynamic. The power was interesting. What's Brittany going to do? What's she not going to do? It was fun to watch. And then for it to just all lead to nothing was a little bit of oh, okay. All right. Next. I'm done. On
me personally, I can agree. It's not the most exciting ending. I love the chaos and the fights the much more than anybody. Right. But I also need some form of strategy every here and there. And this season didn't really have much of that from the Faithfuls. So to start off with Danny getting completely cut, in which I wasn't sure was going to happen, and then she kind of threw Brittany under the bus. Like to see that saga continue from Big Brother reindeer games of all places was very
The two
crazy.
bookends is crazy that it's
It's
like a
insane.
package set.
Exactly, like that was crazy to me. And then I thought Brittany giving Gabby the safety of being exposed as a faithful was very interesting, because I did think for a second that there was like a chance for something to happen. I just think like Brittany, if she wanted like an in, maybe should have tried to like target Ivar instead of Dylan. But all we know, it's like it was a dead, chance no matter what. I don't know. I think as much chaos we got this season, I wasn't happy with it being boring, but I was satisfied, because I'm like, all right, like I did just get on the edge of my seat for a majority of the season. I can take like a little, But I feel that I actually had my fiance watch it with me. This is the only episode she watched, and she kind of said the same thing you guys said. She was like, "Oh, that was like unthrilling," or like like
Yeah,
it was kind of
that's
boring.
it.
So like
Yeah.
I get it. I understand fully. I don't hate it as much as everyone hate. Like this season, I love this season. Like I was about to cut Traitors. I ain't gonna hold you, because last season was just so bad to me. I hated last season. This season fixed so much with production. I thought outside of the seeker twist, like the rules of the game were better. I just think everything about this season was better. I like the change where like they can't expose who they are before they leave, and it left people on the edge of their seats. Like there was a lot of interest with this group. I just think it was a lot of it's so interesting, the things that the Traitors did at the beginning of the season that didn't seem to really affect them midway through the season really came to bite at the end of the season. Like Gabby bringing back up like Carolyn and Danny being in the library, and Derek throwing Brittany's name out to Dylan. It was just those moments happening. I kept saying to myself, I was like, these are going to come back up. I don't know when it's going to come back up, but they're showing these things for a reason. And the fact that it waited all the way to the finale to come back up was so crazy to me. So I think that's also why I didn't mind it, because it was like, oh wow, like all right, these are some relevant points. But I get you guys. Like it was boring. I feel you. I have to show some kind of like, oh, like we can't just hate on it. Like I need to be the opposition in something.
I'm not hating on it. It's fine. I feel like
I get you.
I'm not mad about it. It just is what it is. It was a little boring. It was a little bit of a flop. It didn't give us anything to take away. Like, and even just debate. I mean, we're debating on whether or not it was a good finale or not. But like we were talking about last year, the Trishelle and CT thing. Did they screw MJ? Did they not? Is MJ right to be upset? Like, it doesn't give us anything to take away. And like, good for these people. Whatever. They all held hands and walked out of the castle together. But like, it put me to sleep a little bit. They just put me to sleep. I want to see people fighting at the reunion, which we got, but not the people at the finale. The finale, I actually thought the reunion was much better than I was expecting. Last year's reunion, I hated. But Andy showed up. He felt like he was a little bit more invested this season, so I'll give him that. But we'll get to the reunion when we get there. You brought up the seer twist, and you brought up Danielle screwing Brittany. So I want to talk about those two things specifically. Let's talk about Danielle. Do you guys feel like that was the nail in Brittany's coffin, what she said to her when she got banished? Because I didn't really clock it as that. And then to hear Dylan talk about it, and then to hear it just like become a little bit of a narrative, I was a little bit surprised because it didn't feel egregious to me. Where in the past, I feel like there have been things that were more egregious.
Yeah, I feel like everyone in the house knew that like Danielle and Brittany had history.
Right.
So I didn't see that as like as Danielle throwing her under the bus, as I had in like past, there's been other times, like you said, Katie, where someone leaves and they say something really sus. But I felt like this time it was just someone being hurt by their friend. And I think even if Danielle was a faithful, if they were both faithfuls and Brittany did the same thing, I think she would have said the same thing. So I personally didn't look at it as anything more than like a friend being hurt, that like a friend played it in their face twice in 1 year. But yeah, I feel like it was, but I also think that Brittany was kind of screwed. You know, I feel like the Traitors is a game when your name when your name is out there as a traitor, it's really hard for you to come back. And I feel like Brittany was gonna lose anyways. And that was just Dylan coming up with another excuse, another reason to like go after Brittany. Which so I think it would have been a moot point whether Danielle said that or not.
Yeah. What do you think, Isaiah? You think Danielle? Yeah, I mean, you said Danielle screwed Brittany on the way out. Do you feel like she really did?
Yeah, she knew what she was doing. I think the one thing I would like to see from the Traitors that I've seen as a recurring problem the last few seasons is the bitterness from the Traitors on the way out screwing over people. I think it's very lame. Like Dan did it the first time and there was a lot of backlash, and it's like you didn't have to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then seeing this season, because I don't remember if Phaedra did it, but seeing this season, almost every Traitor throwing someone under the bus outside of what, Rob, maybe? Let me see. Bob definitely threw Rob under the bus. Rob did not throw anyone under the bus. Carolyn threw Danny under the bus. Danny threw Brittany under the bus. So it's like, you guys just going to keep throwing people under the bus because you get betrayed? Like, that's very lame. Like, play better. You know what I'm saying? So there should be a rule that, like, if you, like, even hint at someone, like, doing something snake type stuff on your way out, you should, like, lose money. Like, I don't know. Like, we need to find a way to stop people from doing this. I think it's so lame. Like, I don't know. Imagine the season if they didn't throw people under the bus on their way out. Like, I don't think Carolyn ever gets found out. I don't think Danny ever gets found out. Well,
I don't think it had anything to do with Carolyn's downfall. I think that was all Carolyn.
Carolyn was all her own doing.
Yeah. I don't think Danny gets found out as bad as Carolyn threw her under the bus, though. Like, Danny was being looked at, but, like, Carolyn basically, like, throwing shade on her way out, or Danny throwing shade at Brittany, or Bob specifically throwing shade at Rob. Like, there was, like, a lot. Like, oh, I told a lot of lies, but I wouldn't, or whatever the fuck he said. Like, I just think that's lame, bro. Like, if you're going to take an L, take the L, bro. Like, stop doing that.
See, I didn't read that as, I mean, it's been a minute since I watched that episode, but I didn't see that as, you know, throwing Rob under the bus. I took that as him just, you know,
they
Bob the drag queen.
brought it up, though. They literally said, you heard what Bob said. He said he will never tell a lie. I mean, he told a lie, but he doesn't always tell a lie. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna interject real quickly. Like, as a Bob stan, that is Bob's slogan. Like, Bob's been saying that for years. Like, he will always, like, that is his line. So
yeah,
y'all can continue. But just so everyone knows, Bob has been saying that for like a decade now.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't take it as that, because even at the end when he left and he was like, I swear to God, and then he's like, I believe in God. Like, that just felt like very campy funny. Like, it didn't feel like he was being bitter to Rob in that moment, to me. But again, like, if people don't know him or whatever, they took it that way. Right. That is what it is. There is a moment in the first season of the UK Traitors that is so egregious with this at the end. And I'm, you know, it's season 1 of the UK Traitors, so if you haven't watched it, you probably won't, but I won't like fully spoil it. But the traitor that got recruited, so like the Brittany of the season, got voted out. And the original traitor, he voted for the original traitor at the end, and he just said a parting gift to the faithfuls to say, like, I'm giving you who the traitor is. And they never would have gotten this traitor if that guy didn't say that. So the fact that they didn't change the rules since then, that's actually one of the most iconic and one of my favorite moments of any of my traitor viewings, because I do feel like part of the onus does fall to you as the person who is the traitor, who's doing the screwing over. Like, you know, the same way you could say like a bitter jury is like your fault for not having jury management in other games, like kind of your fault if you really screw the traitor over and they're pissed at you. Like, I don't know, just like, traitor beware. Do it at your own risk.
That way, if Ari on his way out threw Suri under the bus,
yeah, he should have. I think he should have.
You think like
instead of quitting? Yes, like, absolutely, he should have.
Like, imagine she gets voted out afterwards. And then, like, do people still feel the same? You know,
he tried like, too, by the way. He said in the reunion of that season, if I remember correctly, that he said he tried, and he said something of like good luck or something, that he was like trying to hint to them that Suri was a traitor, but they didn't pick up on it. No surprise, they didn't pick up on much. Quentin and Andy, shout out to them, I guess. Shout out to Andy, not so much Quentin, but you know, I don't know. He tried though. He did.
Dang.
I feel like it's part of the game at this point. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me that much. But I agree with you, Javier. I felt like if I, as a Big Brother viewer, and knowing the situation with reindeer games and just how much of a storyline it was this season, I felt like it was Danielle saying like, you did it to me again or whatever about reindeer games, not that it was a traitor screwing over a traitor. But I guess if there's already suspicion on Brittany, then people would take it that way. But I think she would have said the same thing if they were both faithfuls.
I think multiple times this season, people kept referencing, oh, this really felt like how Bob the drag queen dragged Rob on his way out. Like they kept saying that when people were like, when the traitors were getting voted out, oh, Carolyn did something very Bob the drag queeny, or oh, Danielle did something very Bob.
Well, what they were referring to when they said that is the traitor on traitor fighting, which is such a telltale sign of who the traitors are. When two people are going at it at a round table like that, they're both traitors. Like without fail, they are both traitors. No one is going to fight so hard, 100% put your all in and go at each other that way unless you know 100% that other person is a traitor. And it's always, always, always traitor on traitor violence. It always is. And that is really what I think they were referring to there. Not so much what Bob was saying on the way out, but just how they were fighting at that round table. Like that was so clearly traitor on traitor. And Wes, I think, put that idea into Sandoval's head, and then Sandoval kind of took it and ran, and then Gabby said it about Carolyn and Danielle.
Yeah.
Right. Got it.
And like if you like, I've only also watched the Canadian seasons and the American, and in the Canadian seasons, both like there were both times when they get heated, it's always trade on trade. I don't know, Katie, if you can say about
I'm not over. Yes, every time.
And sorry, in the Australian and the UK versions, like it's so obvious when it's trade on trade. Like honestly, if you go on the traders moving forward and you've at least watched one season, you need to adjust your gameplay because it has become
don't do that.
Just don't do it. Just don't react so much when if you are a trader if there's trade on trader violence, just don't overreact. Like try to be calm.
Yes, you should be. I mean, Suri didn't do it. And she is the only trader in the US that has won so far. She kept her cool. She was calm, cool, and collected the whole time. She was very thoughtful about when she went against another trader. She never led the charge. She just did what she had to do when she had to do it. And that is the perfect. I know, again, like Isaiah, especially you have been saying this whole season, like, Suri's game. But like she, again, is the only trader that has won a US season so far. She did it by herself, and no one can seem to replicate what she was able to do seemingly so easily in season 1. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. I think these people are doing too much. Dan did way too much. Phaedra did too much. Parvati did too much. All the traders this season did too much. I don't think Brittany did, but I think she was doomed from the start anyway. I don't think she had a shot unless she got to the end somehow with Danielle.
They left Brittany a disaster of a whatever room, trader's room, for her to really pick up. Like she had not like the work that the traders did this season left these faithfuls in the house, and they basically kicked out all the delusional people, and it just made no sense. Like their kills were very confusing this season. I love Danielle. Like I wanted her to win so badly. She's still one of my favorite players to never win Big Brother. But I kind of felt this way in reindeer games. She is just like such a shadow of her former self. She's still fantastic television. She still has amazing moments. I love Danielle. She just needs, in my opinion, a Jason guy to really do the work. And unfortunately, she just didn't have that this season. And I don't know. She just really struggled. Like Danielle has always made questionable decisions. I said that during the draft, and this season really put an emphasis on Danielle makes terrible decisions. She's always making bad decisions, and it sucks. But I still love her. I'm still a fan forever. I'm blessed to even had her on my TV this time. But she was so frustrating this season. It was so frustrating to watch, but she was great. Very entertaining TV for sure.
My pendulum, I've said it every week now so far for the past few podcasts, but has swung one way to the other with Danielle. I was so frustrated with her in the beginning, especially when she was like, I have to get out Carolyn so I can go for Rob. I was like, this logic literally makes zero sense. Still feel that like that logic made zero sense. But I do feel like toward the back half, after Rob was out of the game, even just the week that they got Rob out and then beyond that, I do think she played much better. And I think like having a little bit more control over the situation, I think just the mix of her and Carolyn was just like oil and water. Like they could not work together. And I think that unfortunately put Danielle into a lot of really bad situations with making bad decisions that she didn't really have an option because Carolyn refused to get on the same page with her. No matter what Danielle wanted to do, Carolyn would not do it. And I think she just didn't really have much of a chance to be successful, unfortunately. Just the combination of the Traitors was just a mess. If it were her and Bob the drag queen the whole season, I think they would have actually done a really great job together because they were on the same page. They could work together. They trusted each other. Once Carolyn was involved, and then especially when Rob got involved, it was over. It was over before.
I don't have much of a problem with Rob because I understand what they're here to do. I just feel like Carolyn was the source of a lot of the chaos in the Traitors room this year. Like obviously Danny did a terrible job of throwing her name out prematurely and stuff, but after they talked it out that first time, like that should have been it. Like I really blame Carolyn a lot for the complete disaster the Traitors were this season. They like even like targeting Rob so randomly multiple times this season. When Rob, I felt like really like. Can we talk about this whole Survivor allegiance thing that is also like talked about in the reunion? The Survivors. And I hate this. The housewives, I felt like had this last season as well. The Survivor players have repeatedly have like this unspoken code that like you don't go against each other, and they do this in the challenge. They do this in whatever they go on. They always stick together. And Carolyn, being the first new school player, I might say, coming into this, is like completely against that. And it's fun because it's like, yay! I'm tired of seeing like this pre-built alliance always like bulldozing through these shows, but Carolyn just fought so hard to just go against everybody who wanted to work with her. Like I think it was after that Jeremy vote, she was just like, I don't even know what to do with Carolyn. Like you were against Tony, you were against Rob who wanted to work with you. It was just very confusing. And she, like I said, she did this in the original season of Survivor, and the fans always prop her up as like this amazing player. And she's a great woman. I will say she's very nice, but like she is so overrated as a player in no matter what she's in because she always gets propped up because of her positioning and she always crashes and burns. This is why she was a 0 vote finalist in Survivor, you know? So I need people to stop glazing Carolyn. She's not that good. She's a fun character, but she is not that good of a player. I'm sorry. She ruined the Traitors tower this season and she needs to be held accountable. This reunion was on her side, and I was tired of it. Like, she's not a victim. Okay, cut it out.
Yeah, I have to say, and I know this is an unpopular opinion everywhere on the internet, unless you're a Big Brother fan, and even some Big Brother fans are against Danielle. But Danielle got so much heat for things that were caused by Carolyn, and Danielle was reacting to the situation that she was in. Was every situation that Danielle put herself in warranted, or did her reactions make sense? Was the crying, shaking, sobbing, falling on the ground nonsensical? 99% of the time, yes, it was. She was doing too much. Everybody can agree. She made great TV. Her game moves were not the best, but she was dealing with the situation that she was in, and she was doing it in the way she thought was best. But to make her out to be this monster against Carolyn, like a bully, people were saying she broke her NDA. People were saying she was bullying Carolyn the whole time, that she broke all the rules of the game, that she needs to get in trouble. Like, it's a joke, everybody. You guys are all delusional. She was playing the game with the rules that were outlined for her. And Carolyn, I'm sorry, I didn't watch her game on Survivor. I agree with you, Isaiah. She's a fun player. She's fun to watch on TV. But I'm so tired of watching an adult woman sit on TV and cry about situations that you put yourself in and act like people are attacking you or that you're the victim. Like you said, Jeremy wanted to work with her. Tony would have worked with her. Rob wanted to work with her. She had Gabby as a friend. She was somewhat close with Brittany. Danielle at certain points wanted to work with her. And she put up a wall every single time. And then every single time we heard from her, it was, nobody listens to me and nobody wants to hear me. And this is like a whole life. And it's like, maybe at this point, like, go work it out somewhere, because I think you're bringing a lot of this shit on yourself and it's not fun to watch for me on TV at this point anymore. I'm sure she's a wonderful woman. I'm sure she's great. But like, hearing the reunion and watching her cry again about how nobody listens to her, and even hearing Danielle be like, we were listening to you. You were telling us that no one was listening to you, but people were listening to you. It's just like, it drives me crazy. How many times can we hear the same thing over and over and over again, and you take zero responsibility for your actions that put you in the situation? It's frustrating. And then to just perpetuate the hate against Danielle online, that was like some of the most vicious hate that I've seen in a while. It's a joke. Like, you're putting out poems when this woman is getting death threats. Like, grow up. You're an adult. Grow up. Like, time to move on. Sorry to the Carolyn stands. Don't come for me, or come for me. I really don't care. My blue sky's right here. Come to me in my mentions. I don't care.
Yeah, I will say this. Just talking a little bit more about Danielle. Like I've said since the beginning, I'm a huge Danielle fan because I love Big Brother. And I think what she did on Big Brother was great. And I feel like I've been very critical of Danielle's game this entire podcast. There is ocular proof, guys, of my opinions on Danielle's game. I genuinely do not think Danielle played a good game. I'm sorry. I don't think she did a good job at the Traitors. I think she was the worst traitor out of all of them, even though she made it really far from the OG ones. I'm being real with y'all. But the amount of hate I agree that I've seen about Danielle online for playing a game. One thing is me saying Danielle's game is bad. I'm just critiquing her game, but to come for her character, to like start dragging Danielle for playing this game, to call her a bully. Like, bro, Danielle was just playing a bad game of Traitors. She wasn't out here to get anyone. Like, I don't understand, like, and all the hate that I've seen online for Danielle. And even when I talk to people in real life who don't know Big Brother, I've had at least 5 people in the past week tell me, I'm so happy Danielle lost.
Oh my God, yeah.
Stand Danielle. I'm like, guys, what you can say Danielle's game was bad, but like, what did she never was actually malicious, in my opinion. She was never mean. She wasn't like problematic. She was just playing a bad game and like
messy.
overacting sometimes. And like, if that's what you dislike Danielle for, great. But then I don't know. I just feel like the attacks became too much, and it has made me like Danielle even more. Like, I can't deal when people do this, and I see this with a lot of other reality TV shows. Like, guys, they're playing a game. As long as no one's doing anything problematic or like bullying people, like we've seen real bullying on these reality TV shows. Like, I'm gonna play Big Brother season 15 if you guys want to see real bullying. Like, you guys have not seen real bullying on reality TV if you think that Danielle was bullying Carolyn. And I'm a huge Carolyn fan too. Like, again, it's all on the podcast. I thought Carolyn was playing a great game up until she went home. But like, Carolyn, like, come on, don't like play into this narrative and then further victimize Danielle, make her look even worse. Like, stand up for Danielle, be like, yes, like whatever my life experiences are, this, that, and the third. But if this was a game at the end of the day, like, I think if Carolyn would just say like, yes, I took things personally because this is my life, whatever. But at the end of the day, she would just go out there and say like, Danielle was playing a game. I think that would just do so much for this like hate that Danielle's been getting. Like, you know, so it's just really unfortunate to see all the hate Danielle has been getting. And I hope that we just get Danielle again on TV so maybe she can redeem herself, because I just feel like all this hate is so unwarranted for her because she did nothing, in my opinion, actually wrong except play like a poor game of Traitors, in my opinion.
Well, listen, I warned everybody before the season started that she was going to get canceled. I already told y'all.
You were so right. Like, you should have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you your 10 for that one.
Yes, you were so right.
I've gotten my mom into a couple of shows every now and then, but she is the antithesis of a casual audience when I want to see like how people feel in these scenarios. My mom would have hated Danielle if she watched this. Like, I get it. Yeah. I feel like casual audiences will more likely root for like a faithful, because a lot of people don't like the sneakiness and stuff. Like, I used to watch Pressure Cooker, and a lot of people hated Gina because Gina was so sneaky. It's understandable. Like, people don't like the lying and the deceitful. Like, if I didn't know Danielle, the crying and stuff, I would have been pissed. I'd be like, get her the fuck out of here. Like, I get it. But I don't really care about the think pieces and all that stuff anymore. Like, whatever, go ahead. But Carolyn is the one who I have a problem with because she is perpetuating it.
Me
and they
too.
seem cool, they seem fine, but like, enough. Like, come on now, enough of it. I'm tired of the crying. And you were literally a traitor. That's the part of the game that you signed up for, and you were like, oh, like, I just wanted to be like heard for one. Like, you're mad that people are playing the game. Like, I don't know. They both seem, they're, like I said, how I feel about them as TV characters in this single season does not define them as people. Like I said, Carolyn is very nice. I have to keep saying that because as this channel grows, a lot of crap keeps getting put on social media, and then I've realized.
Listen, we're anything but silent here at our podcast. Okay,
I'm not muting myself. I'm just saying a lot of stuff has come back multiple times, so I'm just being real. But it was annoying. It was annoying, you know. So enough with the professional victim bullcrap, because that's a part of the game, man.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more at the reunion from Carolyn to be like, listen, because they only filmed it like a week ago. Like it was filmed very recently. It's not like it was filmed a long time ago, and then like they didn't have a chance to react to some of the things that were going on the internet. Like they could have spent a little more time on like the relationship and where are you today and like the hate Danielle's getting online. Like just like a little bit of Carolyn to be like, you don't have to bully this woman. It was a
Yeah.
game. She was playing a game. But even in her exit press, she was just saying, like, she didn't play the game the way I wanted to play the game. I was there to have fun, and she was lying about her family, and, like, we were playing with housewives. There was no room for that. It's like, you're just adding on. You're, like, dogpiling on to her the same way everybody else is, and it's like, you played Survivor, you know what goes into these games, like and that's where I think it does become a disparity of, like, the gamers and the non-gamers because, like, the gamers are there to play a game. The Doloreses of the world are there to just be on TV. So it's like it is a little bit of a weird situation when someone is like, I swear on my grandkids that I'm a faithful. And then you have Dolores Catania from Real Housewives of New Jersey, who doesn't even know what she's really doing there, being like, oh, she lied and said, or she told me it was her grandkid. So like, I have to believe her. It's just a different mindset coming into it, which is where I feel like the US Traitors becomes a little difficult to even talk about as a game because everybody is on such different pages about the reason that they're there. Like someone's just there for the appearance fee.
It's a little deeper
They're not gonna
conversation than that.
play.
I don't even think it's gamer versus non-gamers, because like if you throw in some people like Candy or like Omarosa or stuff, like they'll completely get it. I think
Well,
it's more
Omarosa's
so
she came from that.
which is what I'm getting at. I think, like I said, Carolyn is an example of a new school competitive reality TV personality. Danielle is extremely old school. She is one of the originators. It's more of a generation change. And you can see this on social media too, where a lot of these new school Big Brother and Survivor people are growing up with the Survivor 40s and the Big Brother 24 and ups. You know what I'm saying? Where you come over here, we're used to like from the beginning, like we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've seen the Russell Hanses, and then I've seen the Taylor Hills. You know, like I get everything. So it's not, this era is very soft, to be quite frank. And if you tried anything like that in real, like swearing on your kids and all that stuff now in the Survivor Big Brother season now will get you canceled. Okay. So it's like, it's a mindset flip. Like if you watch Dondi, Dr. Will is doing a lot of crap like that too. Dan, like these people don't care because it's about the money. A lot of these people who aren't OGs don't get that. So
You should be watching the new season of Australian Survivor for some villainy because there's some villainy happening in Australian Survivor this season, and it's great TV. It's so fun to watch. It feels like old school TV, like reality TV.
I'm telling you, like Bananas and them, they're not going to care. I'm sure if like you put someone like Snooki or JWoww, like all these OG people are not going to care. It's all these new people. You know what I'm saying? It's just the new school mindset, and that's what's interesting about the show. It puts a lot of different people. We're about to finally, with these contracts ending, we're going to start seeing a lot of new school players come into the Traitors now. Carolyn was a peak. We already know Taylor got an invite this season, and then she obviously couldn't come because of the contract. So I'm probably going to see her next season. A lot of these people from New School, Survivor, and Big Brother are about to enter the ring with OGs. It's about to be messy. So I'm really curious to see how far we go with this.
We will see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I've already seen some casting rumors for next season. Some are very interesting.
I think people are just talking shit.
I think so too. I don't know how much of it's real and how much of it isn't, but we'll see. Should be interesting to watch. But put Russell Hantz in the Traitors.
I wouldn't mind it.
If you guys want to see some
I think
crazy
Russell
ass shit,
be very fun.
he would be fun. But if you want to see a real bully and you want to see
Russell.
your heads explode, then watch Russell Hantz on the Traitors. I'm sure.
Fuck Russell Hantz. I would definitely take him on.
Sure.
I'll take him for the mess, but fuck Russell.
Yeah, no, same page.
Hey Russell, but yeah, I'll take it.
The last thing I want to talk about the well, there's two things. About the finale is the seer twist. What did you guys think of it? This is the first time we've seen it this season. In the US, we saw it in the UK in season 3 as well. So net new twist for this year's Traitors cycle. Did you guys like it? Did you not like it? Did you feel like it was not impactful? In UK, I will say it was very impactful. I know I have said that, but what did you guys think about it in the US?
I don't need it, and I'm glad that it fell into the hands of a traitor. But I feel like even though it could have been a plus for her, it still put an unnecessary amount of attention on Brittany that was making her be like viewed very closely. That was just unnecessary. I don't like it. It felt very coup d'etat, and I just you could just throw it away, never do it again. I think the production people learned their lesson, hopefully after seeing social media's reaction to it. So just don't do it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like it was too late in the game for this twist. The literal only silver lining is that a traitor got it, because if any of the faithfuls would have got it, I would have been so annoyed. And yeah, I didn't need the twist this point in the game. I feel like Isaiah said, it did put even more eyes on Brittany. And I think Brittany, again, was damned if you do, damned if you don't. If she would have gone with like the Dylan, others, like the other thought Dylan had of trying to frame someone, she would have gone home for that. If she tried to save someone, they would have turned it, like, so I don't feel like it helped Brittany's game at all. And I don't feel like it changed the course of the game at all. But I guess it helped out my girl Gabby. So maybe that's a good thing for me. But yeah, if you're going to do a game-changing twist, like a potentially game-changing twist, you need to do it earlier on in the season. Like, we didn't need all these people to be saved half of the season when they were giving out safety so much. Maybe one of those weeks you could have thrown a seer, and then the next week you could have maybe switch up the twist a little bit like that. I don't know, but this twist did not need to happen this late in the game.
Yeah, it's so late. I mean, it's literally right before the last roundtable, which part of me understands, because it's like, okay, you don't know who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth. And then when they get voted out at the end, they don't reveal. So you really have to decide, do you trust what the seer said? Do you not? But then that puts them in a situation where, exactly like Dylan was planning, that both of them would have to go in that scenario. Like, if Brittany came out and said she's a traitor, and they're both saying traitor and traitor, like, each one of them is a traitor, then they will both have to go. And that screws over both people that are involved in the twist. So it's way too overpowered. I do like that they're changing the way that the end game happens, or they're adding new things, because the game, I do think, does get a little stale after watching season over season. So I'm happy for them to sprinkle in different things to kind of, make it fresh here and there, but it's just way too overpowered. I agree with you, Isaiah. It's like coup d'etat level overpowered. And even if it does get a traitor out, it's screwing the person that got the power, if they're a faithful, because then everyone's gonna be like, well, maybe, I don't know. Because if you're a traitor, of course you're gonna say the faithful is a traitor. They're both gonna be like, you're a traitor. No, you're a traitor.
Yeah.
So they're both gonna go. So we'll see if they bring that back. I would be open to them bringing back some form of something, but I don't think this is it for me.
Yeah.
But that kind of, I guess, leads us into the final roundtable, where I have some thoughts for Mr. Dylan Efron. But Javier, I know you do too, so I want to pass the mic to you first.
Oh, Dylan. So Dylan was... I've said a few positive things about Dylan. So I've said my few positive things about Dylan for now, and I could go back on my Dylan hate train again, because this roundtable was abysmal from Dylan. Dylan was playing the victim this roundtable. He was coming for Brittany first, and then Brittany has every right to defend herself. And then he starts getting all he got so emotional. He was like, oh my God, I can't believe Brittany's going this hard for me. Blah, 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 blah. Boo, woe is me. Boo, hoo, hoo. He literally was about to start crying because Brittany was trying to put up an argument as to why he could be a traitor when he was going for her first. Bro, if you're going to bring heat, get ready to get heat thrown back at you. Don't come at someone with this energy for no reason. And that's why I always drag Dylan, because he just proved right at the end what I don't like about Dylan. He cannot stand the heat. He was put in the seat, and he could not handle it at all. And that's why in the past he never targeted anyone, because he knows he doesn't have the argument skills or the ability to sit under the line of fire, and that's why he never did it before. So seeing that at the end just culminated with the things that I do not like about Dylan. And again, I've said my fair share of positive things, and overall I think Dylan played a solid game. But seeing that at the end was just so annoying, because why are you playing the victim when you were going after Brittany first? That's
I am
right.
Exactly. And he actually literally said she assaulted him at the round table. It was an assault, and I'm like, bro, come on. He got off scot-free at every roundtable. Every other person at that point had heat on them from someone one way or another, except for him. Maybe in the beginning with Bob the drag queen, but like kind of not even really. And like the one time in the game where there's 5 people left, you're gonna have to face a little heat. Everybody's gonna have to face a little heat, and Brittany's gonna do whatever she can to save herself because it's you versus her at that point, and one of you is gonna have to go. Don't sit there and act like she was out of bounds, out of line when she didn't say anything rude. She just laid out exactly the plan that she put together, which I actually thought her argument was great. I thought she did a great job at this roundtable. I just think it was too far gone for her at this point, but I was impressed with the work that she did. But like his reaction was so wild to me because it's like, why do you think that you're above getting any questioning? You haven't gotten one vote practically this whole, maybe I don't even think he has gotten one vote this entire season. Like, let the girl vote for you. Let her fight. You've been doing this to people all season. She's gonna flip it on you. Don't sit there and cry about it. That was so like embarrassing to me. Embarrassing to watch.
Isaiah, what are your thoughts? Since you're a pretty big Dylan supporter.
Dylan.
Oh, I didn't really care because he was correct, and I think they were both doing the same thing. And ultimately, him doing that got him the money. So I didn't really see the problem because he was right. I mean, she was a traitor. I can't get mad at him and be like, hey, traitor, why are you accusing me of being a traitor? Oh, how dare you defend yourself? I don't care. You got money. I'm doing the same thing too, bro. Like, save it. I'm doing the same thing too. And look, it got him the win. So, hey, if we hate him for making money, then shoot, hate me.
Isaiah, I'm gonna defend you here right now because I feel from what I know of you, you would not sit on a show and like be woe is me. Like I feel like you would take it on the chin and like if you lose, I feel like you would be like, bro, you outplayed me.
You're gonna go in a confessional and cry and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
my girl assaulted you."
I'm not going in a confessional
arguing.
and cry, but I'm gonna be crashing out. I ain't gonna hold you.
But he wasn't crashing out. He was just being woe is me.
I mean, what do you want him to do?
Isaiah just wants to go to bed.
I'm just no, like
you're over it. Okay, we get it.
No, pause. What did y'all want him to do?
Just like,
not be a baby about it.
Yeah, not exactly.
So you just want him to just take the hit.
No, I wanted him to do what Brittany did.
Here?
Brittany fought for her. We're talking about a show. This is a discussion about a show. And we're discussing what happened at the round table. And what happened was he wanted to put all of the heat on her and then was unprepared for the heat to come back on him. And that's it.
When
that's all we're saying.
Back on him, what do you do?
He sat and he shut down and he cried. And then he went and said he brought a knife to a gunfight. And then he said she assaulted him, is what he did.
And what did Brittany do?
Nothing.
She started crying. That's exactly what she started doing. Listen, they all did the same exact thing. I don't care. Shout out Dylan. Shout out Brittany.
Okay, well, I guess the podcast is over. Isaiah's done talking about it, so he doesn't care. He's over it.
Oh my god! No, I'm playing. No, it was whatever. I didn't really care. But listen. It got him the money, so I didn't really see the problem. Respectfully, anyway. I really didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought she had a pretty good argument. I wouldn't fully say that, but you had to pull out as many. What's the word I'm looking for? He needed to victimize himself in order to win that argument. So, like I said, I don't mind because it got him the money. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't see the big problem. If he did this and failed, then I'm gonna be like. What are we doing? I
think you're attributing strategy to it, where I think this was just his actual reaction. I don't think it was strategic for him to like lay down and die like that. I think he truly was shook and didn't know how to react, and they just voted Brittany out anyway because they already had suspicion on her. And it was a last-ditch effort from her. He wasn't going to get voted out, but she did a good job. I thought she put a lot of good evidence together.
That's valid. I thought there was a good chance. Well, like I said, from what we've seen, the edit made it seem like Brittany at least had a chance. But when Dolores went back to him, I was like, all right, it's over. So, yeah, you guys are right.
That was over. It was over. Well,
I will say I do agree with Isaiah in the sense that the edit kind of got me a few times in this finale where I thought that maybe there was a shot that Brittany was getting through to Dolores and Gabby, and maybe the 3 women would have made it to the end together. I did believe that for a split second. And just similarly, like towards the end, I'm gonna say they did the most exciting thing about the final like the final fire moment was they kept cutting to Dolores and making it seem like Dolores might have been the vote to not end the game.
They really did try and get us with that.
And they tried to get me, you know. At that point, after the roundtable, I knew Dolores was like not going to do anything. But prior to the roundtable, there was a part of me that was like, okay, maybe Dolores will flip and like work with Brittany and Gabby. So for a split second, they did get me. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of props for that. I think they did a solid job at trying to add a little bit of drama to what ended up being the final four faithfuls, just saying like, let's end the game. I do think they tried to at least like give us like the belief that there's a slim chance that something else could have happened.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I fell for that edit the same way you guys are saying. You know, you thought there was a chance.
Mhm.
And I thought they did a good job telling the story. And I thought Brittany
Yeah.
had a really impeccable finale. I thought she did the right move at the with the seer thing. I think if she would have said Gabby was a traitor, that would have been an immediate losing move for her. So she played that correctly. I think she played a really great final roundtable. I just think it was too far gone, unfortunately, for her at that point. But I do want to give her credit where credit is due, because I thought with the tools that she had, she did everything right. I just don't think there was anything she could have done at that point to actually get to the end and win. Even if she got to the end, they would have voted her out of the fire. Like, I don't think there was a shot for her, unfortunately. But she did great.
And I was gonna say, I hope this isn't the end of Brittany, because Brittany has never had like a showing that like disappointed me. I've always enjoyed seeing Brittany on shows, and I think she's such a great presence, not only in the diary room, but like she's really like solid strategically. And I saw in one of her ex interviews, she was saying how like she just wasn't having a fun time, having to relive all that, and then seeing the response on the reunion and everything. It's just like, Brittany's the type of person that will go back into hiding, because she was in hiding for a long time. And she just popped back out starring with Reindeer Games. So I'm like, oh, maybe Brittany is down to do shows again. I'm like, I hope she doesn't go back into her hole, because she's always great. And finally, the little friend group they have of Janelle, Rachel, and Brittany have all been on a show. So it's like, I hope this isn't the end. I hope we get to see more of her.
Me too. I thought she was great. I thought she did a really great job.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, yeah. Just
No, go ahead.
my final thoughts. I feel like now we're doing like a final thoughts on every player. That's like my mindset now. So yeah, no, I agree. I think my final thoughts on Brittany are that like, I think towards the first half of the season, I felt a little underwhelmed with the Brittany that I knew from Big Brother. Like, I don't think she was serving in the DR. I don't think she was like really giving anything. I think she was playing a much more quiet game when the game started. And I feel like after like the Rob elimination, the game really changed. And I felt like Brittany, once she got a little bit of fire in her, that actually revved up her game and she started playing. And I feel like, yeah, her final roundtable showing was like a great showing for her. I think she tried her best, and I think she put up a pretty great argument. And I just love seeing that fire from Brittany that I had seen before that I felt like I wasn't getting the first half of the season. So yeah, I agree with Isaiah. I hope we get to see more of Brittany. I think Brittany is a great character for these kind of like reality TV shows. I think it doesn't seem like she takes any of this to heart either. Like, she understands this is a game, and those are the type of people that I like to watch on these shows. So like, shout out to Brittany. Like, I thought she ended off on a good note.
Yeah, I agree with everything you both are saying. Great job to Brittany. I do want to talk a little bit about the reunion. I know, Isaiah, you said you fell asleep, but there are a few things that came up that I feel like are worth discussing before we call it for the season. First being Danielle versus Brittany. What did you guys think about that back and forth? If you were awake for it, Isaiah, of the,
Oh, no, I
you know,
was.
she did it to me again. And, you know, I thought it was interesting that Brittany was kind of like, we never really spent time together before Reindeer Games. You're making it sound like we were like besties. I thought that was an interesting dynamic between the two of them. And like the amount of promotion, let's just talk about Paramount Plus for a second. Like,
Dummies.
the way they dropped the ball, removing Reindeer Games when it's on literally like one of the most major plot points of this most popular, most streamed reality show maybe of all time. Like, and they still, I don't think they put it back up. Like, people are going to be out there looking for it. How did you fumble so hard, CBS? How did you do it? Wild.
And I mean, they took so much stuff off. They took the Challenge USA off as well. They took
so
BB
weird.
Can
Oh
off.
wow.
They took BB Can down. They took so much stuff down. They're a lot of these streamers. HBO Max is dropping the ball too. A lot of these streamers are just sucking right now, and I'm low key ready to go back to cable. But I mean, fine. I actually agree with Brittany with that, but at the same time, it's like, You could say that, but yet you both are sitting on the show multiple times crying and confessing about how much you love each other and how you would never do this. You guys are such close friends. It's like, I don't want to hear that, Brittany. You were sobbing after voting out Danielle. So, like, let's be real. You guys both felt that way. And just keep it a stack.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Brittany coming in to the reunion and like Danielle saying like, oh my God, I was so hurt. And then Brittany saying like, we weren't really that close. But then like Isaiah said, the show painted a different picture, whether that's the truth or not. Brittany was crying. Brittany went into DR and multiple times said like, oh my God, I don't want to do this to Danielle. I hope we rekindle this. So maybe they weren't that close outside of the game, but it's either, it tells me one of two things. Either Brittany is lying and she was doing this all for show, which is like not a good look, and she doesn't actually care about Danielle, or she was just hyping up that she cared about Danielle for the storyline. So like either way, it doesn't, I think Brittany doesn't look great coming out of this argument, because it's like, did you mean it or not? Like, did you actually care about Danielle or not? Because at the reunion, it made it seem like, oh, Danielle, we're cool, but it's not that deep. So it threw me off a little bit with Brittany's response at the reunion. Like, I wish it was more clear, because like I said, the show painted one thing and then she's saying another thing. And like, now I kind of feel like I don't know what the truth is between Brittany and Danielle's relationship. So I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the way Danielle handled it actually at the reunion, I thought the way Danielle showed up to the reunion in general, I thought she was very humble. I thought she
Yes.
owned her gameplay. I thought she handled herself really well. And I wish we get to see the real Danielle in the house and not the acting, because I think if she played more like her true personality and maybe just a little bit more like, again, I'll say like Suri, where she's just like was herself, maybe without like the extreme gamer side of Danielle where she would like turn it on and like game too hard. But I think if she could just like chill and be herself and have her regular personality, she probably would have done a lot better. She did well. She got very close to the end, but she wouldn't have won. But I liked just kind of how they ended it, where she was like, we're cool, but if we ever play again, like I'm never going to trust you. Like
Yeah.
that's really kind of where you have to leave it. And she's absolutely right for feeling that way, because she did get
100%.
screwed twice by Brittany at the end of the day. Like Danielle's not wrong.
Mm-hmm. And even one of the housewives said, was it Dolores? Funny enough, from Dolores of all people saying, fool me twice, shame on me.
Right. Oh my God. I know. Such a mess, Dolores. I thought it was
also said
interesting
they
at the
all
read.
look-
Oh, go ahead.
Go, okay.
No, go, you go.
I was
No,
going
you
to say
go.
they all look really good, by the way.
Yes, they all
after this
dressed so,
comment,
they looked
all look really
amazing.
nice. Yeah.
Everybody looked great.
Agreed.
There was one or two outfits that I didn't love. I don't remember who it was.
That's
But
probably
for
the
the most
men.
part,
Some of the men. look a
well,
little-
some of the men, come on. Really? Like you couldn't have put on a different color suit or something.
Yeah.
Like some of them tried, a lot of them didn't. No, I think Dorinda actually is the one that I wasn't feeling Dorinda's look.
I didn't
Well, that's the other topic I want to talk about is the housewives in general and Bob the drag queen versus, I would say Dorinda, but also it feels like Ayan was not feeling Bob for whatever reason.
No,
What
they
did we
were
think
beefing
about
on
this?
social media beforehand.
Which felt so weird and petty and random from
Yeah.
her part. I didn't feel like
I
Bob.
thought it was on both
I thought Bob
sides
was
for real.
reacting.
He was reacting to her reaction when she got voted out, like months ago at this point, by the way.
Yes.
This is what she said on the show. And then Bob reacted in real time
Mhm.
and clapped back harder, but she probably didn't give a fuck by then. So she's like, oh, where? All right, it's up. So like she was beefing back here, he was beefing back there, and then she caught back up. And then now it's like, so it was just petty. They're just being petty for real. Bob got a lot of airtime in this reunion. I had no idea
As he
he
should
was
have.
so involved, but I guess he's been talking shit on socials.
Well, Bob,
this
I've
entire
actually been
time.
tuning in. He's been doing, I guess he's a Patreon.
He does.
Also has a podcast, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think his Patreon he's posting the videos where he talks about Traitors on his YouTube page. So I have seen a few of them and they've actually been super interesting. I mean, like he's just shooting the shit with his chat, kind of like we
Yeah.
are, and just talking about like what he's watching. And it's very entertaining. But I think that's what Dorinda was referring to when she was like, well, you put on YouTube that you know me or whatever. And this is the Dorinda that we missed with her getting murdered first, which in hindsight, I was like, at the time, I was like, we were robbed. But in hindsight, I'm actually glad because she's exhausting and like she can't stop herself. She can't laugh at herself. She can't stop herself. So she just like will not stop. She just like keeps like picking. If there's a scab, she's going to keep picking and not stop. And that's exactly what she did at this reunion. And she's like, please just stop talking. Just stop talking. We get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to say, like, I know there's a lot of times I just adding more context to people who don't know Bob. Like, Bob is so unserious. Like,
Yeah.
literally 99% of the time, Bob is a comedian, like, professionally. Like, Bob is just an unserious person. Bob does not take any of this stuff seriously, as opposed to, like, so seeing Dorinda and Ion, like, go off on Bob. And I know Bob is just sitting there, like, ma'am, this was just the game. Like, I don't really care. Like, I was doing this. Bob was literally like, he was acting like he was putting on a show, because that's what he is. Bob is a showman. Like, he's a comedian, he's a showman. He wants to put out good TV, and he's very unserious, and like, they were clearly they don't really understand Bob's sense of humor. Maybe that's what it was. But then again, just even more context, like, Bob was doing a comedy tour, and like a few months ago he was in France, and he brought out Ayan onto the stage, and like him and Ayan are like good friends. Like, so I don't know if the reunion was filmed, like maybe this was before the show, and that's why, and then they became friends after. But like, Bob and Ayan are like besties now. And I just saw a clip of Bob, Ayan, and Dorinda made a clip like online. So
Dorinda?
Yeah. So
oh my god,
I don't know if the
she
housewives
never
show.
lets a grudge go. So that's shocking to me.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was all for show from Dorinda and Ayan, but especially, at least I know Bob and Ayan are like really good friends now. So
oh, I like that.
Yeah,
That
so
makes me
just
happy.
Bob is unserious, so people just need to relax. Like, Bob was there to make good TV, and I think for 3 episodes,
And
like
Bob
Isaiah
did make
said,
good TV.
he made. I think Bob left his mark, and he was talked about a lot in the reunion just because I think he was impactful for those few episodes he was on. So shout out to Bob.
I'm a Bob fan now. I love Bob. Just watching his YouTubes and just like seeing some of the stuff that he was talking about, and then just like diving into some of the other things that he's posted not related to the Traitors. He's hilarious, and like his content is great. So I want to learn more about Bob and see some of the other comedy stuff that he's done, because he's great. And I thought he ate at the reunion. I thought he put every housewife to shame. And I could watch Bob fight with yes, iconic with the blood. Okay, that was the best look. The best look. Love Bob.
Yeah, I mean, he's cool. I think it was. I would like to see him on something else.
Me too.
I'm waiting
Celebrity
for
Big Brother. Let's get Bob on Celebrity Big Brother.
Yes. Oh my god.
I think it's something about like the housewife. I mean, the drag queens. Because obviously I don't watch. I haven't watched RuPaul's, but I need a drag queen to survive more than like a couple episodes, so like I can really like gain an opinion on one, because I didn't get enough of Bob or Peppermint. I thought Bob had so much potential, obviously, but what are you crying about?
If you watch Big Brother Canada, they both make
it.
Both of the drag queens on Big Brother Canada do well on both of their seasons. So
I don't think I'm ever going to watch Canada, but until they get my guy Anthony Douglas on. But listen, I made a tweet saying we need to get Anthony Douglas on U.S. Traitors, and he liked it. So listen,
we need to get.
I would watch that.
I need Anthony. Since they're starting to bring people like Ion over, we need to start bringing some of these BB Can people, because I want to see them over here, because U.S. Big Brother players need some help. So let's get the Canadians. Let's get Ike over here. Let's get Anthony over here. We already wasted Kuzi, but let's get some of the legends over here.
Kuzi did a good job.
Yeah, Kuzi was
talk about traitor on traitor violence. We got some Kuzi traitor on traitor violence.
We only have one winner. We only have one Big Brother winner for Traitors, and it's freaking Suri. So it's like, let's go.
Suri, gotta watch Canada.
You have to watch Canada.
Gotta watch Canada.
I know who wins. I saw.
Well, yeah. So the other thing at the reunion that I didn't appreciate is Andy Cohen trying to once again redeem Tom Sandoval. Like, we don't need it. We're laughing at him.
I was okay. No,
but you don't know him, Isaiah. You don't know him.
It doesn't matter.
You don't know him.
Hannah Chada made a fun tweet saying that she was a Sandoval fan. Like, listen, Tom, from the outsider's perspective, I don't care what he did. He is redeemed. If y'all can redeem Phaedra for all that crap that Phaedra did, we can redeem
Nobody
Tom
redeemed Phaedra for that.
People were redeeming Phaedra. We're redeeming Tom Sandoval. I want to see Tom back. He was amazing.
Don't speak on Bravo business if you don't know Bravo business.
I'm speaking on Bravo. I don't care what happened. I don't want whatever show. On the Traitors, he's good. We need him on the Traitors.
No one's talking about the Traitors. We're talking about generally.
Need more Tom Sandoval.
And Andy Cohen always, once again, supporting the problematic.
I agree with Andy Cohen. Andy.
Yes, you would. You would.
I know nothing about
You
the guy,
would.
but I know Tom is funny. I'm a Tom fan. I've been saying that all season. Tom is great.
Put that in your Twitter bio.
You have been consistent about that.
Let me get that clip of saying, I'm going to clip you, Katie. I'm going to get you. It's all right.
Get me what? What, saying that Tom makes good TV? He does make good TV.
Nothing.
Well, put it on Twitter. I'll never see it. Clip me all you want. Put it on Twitter. I'm never going to go on that website again, so don't worry about it. Any other hot topics from the reunion? We got a lot of a lot of Rob and Dylan content, which, yes, we know they're in love. They're besties. Bob Harper, very bitter about it for whatever reason. Bob Harper, what a waste of screen time. Like, we don't need Bob Harper.
That was a weird bit. The Bob. That was
very weird.
The joke. Maybe we weren't in on the joke, but clearly
maybe.
I don't. You
didn't feel like a
maybe.
joke. It didn't feel like a joke. It was very weird. He was just like, it felt like he was mad. He was like very mad or weirded out by the fact that like Dylan and Rob are friends and like making TikToks together. And Boston Rob picked up Dylan at the airport. Like, who actually cares? Who cares? It was very weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
The energy was weird.
I need to look at that. That's crazy.
It was weird.
That's why, like, I'm hoping there's an inside joke that we're just not getting, because otherwise it just looks really weird.
Yeah, the energy was weird. Like, you're in your 50s. What are we doing? We got Derek sort of apologizing to Sierra for his terrible read of "if you curse, then you're guilty." Any other highlights? The rest was kind of like whatever. I mean, really, Bob versus Dorinda was the highlight for me. And then, a lot more Carolyn being Carolyn, Gabby sticking up for Carolyn, which, whatever. We already said our piece on it. I don't know. Yeah.
Dylan got his moment of being called like the star of the season.
Why you put quotation marks when you said that?
Because he wasn't the star of the season.
Oh, no, he was the main character to me. That's all right.
In what world was Dylan and not Danielle the main character?
Yeah,
whether in a positive way
Danielle
or not.
Danielle was not the main character most of the season either.
I think the Traitors were the main character.
It was shifts, but it was either Rob, Carolyn, or Danielle taking turns being the main character. But while they were alternating, Dylan was also the co-star every single time. He was always there.
You're gonna make me shout out Tom. Tom had a
I know. What about Tom? Tom was more of a star.
Tom wasn't in our final act. Dylan was. So
I think the last few episodes, Gabby was the star, not Tom. And I'm not just saying that.
All right, so listen. If we look back, right, we look at season 1 as Cerie season. We look at season 2 as CT/Trishelle season, and we look at season 3 as Dylan season. Dylan/Gabby, really, but Dylan. Everyone.
And I don't look at season 2 as CT or Trishelle season.
I look at it as Phaedra season.
Me too. I look at it as Phaedra season.
I don't. I think Phaedra was the Rob that season until she got voted out, just like Rob. Rob argumentally had more screen time than anybody this season.
I do agree. It was the Rob show the first 7 episodes.
It was. But I can't call it Rob's game because he wasn't here in the second half. I think this is the story of X-Player. This is a story of Cerie. This is a story of Trishelle/CT. This is a story. Really, I'm gonna give Gabby her props too. Gabby/Dylan. I think this is Gabby/Dylan because Gabby had a lot of airtime too. She just turned to a main character late in the season, but she had a lot of heat on her as well with the whole Bambi saga and everything. I totally forgot about that.
I feel like Dylan started strong, came in, had a lot of screen time, then got very quiet in the middle, and then towards the end came back. I think in the middle, when it really was like traitor on traitor, traitor versus traitor, he was there. He was more in the background, but like that's when Tom came out in front more. Like I think there was much more personality in the middle.
Yeah.
But towards the end, it was like Dylan and Gabby, and towards the front, it was like Dylan, Bob. That's pretty much it. So we can give him his credit, I guess. But I don't think he was the star of the season for sure. He was one of the, and he was probably the breakout. Him and Gabby are the breakout stars.
Yeah, I need y'all to see what I'm dealing with real quick. I'm so sorry. So everyone in my house hates that podcast. I'm letting you know this right now. But
which podcast?
This one specifically. Hold up.
Oh.
What's up? Sorry, you can't see it. Can you see her right here?
Yeah.
She is bothering me. She is bothering me right now. I'm sorry if you keep hearing growling and stuff. That's what she's doing right now.
It's fine. Well, I think we can probably wrap up and let you do your dog dad
No,
duties.
it's completely fine. You're
Well, I
good.
mean, unless there's any more to say about the reunion specifically, I mean, I think for the most part that the one thing I will say is why was there I never got the closure on the Andy Cohen portrait in episode 1.
I think he just wanted a picture if he's still hosting the after show. He's like,
It's crazy.
this
It's
is
not
in
his
my
show.
contract.
It's not
I
even
need
his
to be a
show.
part of this.
Mm. Mm.
You know what I think was interesting? I feel like at the end of season 2, they announced season 3, and this time they didn't announce season 4. Or did that not happen?
I
Probably-
think they did. I think Alan at the end, he like sent it back to Alan at the end, and Alan was like,
okay.
"Oh, more traitor." I think he did, if I
Okay.
recall
I
correctly.
mean, I'm assuming there's like a
Yeah, there's
99.9% chance of a season 4. Like this, like Katie
Definitely.
said, is one of the biggest reality TV shows right now. Like people who I know who don't watch reality TV like that
Yeah.
watch this show.
I feel like last season was huge. This season was even bigger,
Even bigger, yeah.
and more controversial because everybody hated Danielle.
Yeah.
So people were like casually arguing all over the place about it. Anywhere you go, people had an opinion about Danielle. It was pretty wild. And we got to give it to our girl for making controversial TV 20 years later from her
Period.
original season.
Oh my god, the dog. I can't.
No,
It's so
she's so cute.
There's a cat screaming in the background, so I have to keep muting. I
It's all
wonder
good.
if after the nonsense season 2 was that like the show is maybe on the edge of like, all right, we'll see if we give you another season or not. You know,
No
like
chance. It was so
Season
popular.
2 won an Emmy.
It won an Emmy. There was no
Yeah.
chance they were canceling that.
I don't care. Big Brother won a bunch of awards.
And that's why it's
Big
going
Brother
on
Canada,
for 26 seasons.
When did Big Brother win awards?
Canada? Yeah, Big Brother
Oh.
Canada
Oh, well, Canada
won a
is
bunch
different.
of awards, and they just got canceled. So it's like I don't know.
Big Brother Canada's not winning any Emmys.
They won whatever their Canadian awards are for reality TV or something like that, and then it got canceled.
I don't think there was any chance. That I think for us, for people who actually like the gameplay, we didn't like season 2. I think a lot of people did like season 2. I don't think it's a popular opinion that season 2 wasn't great. I think it's
Right.
just us who felt like in the middle, not us, but like people who watch the same way that we do felt like it fell off in the middle. But yeah, no, it's coming back for sure. It'll be here for a long time. Even when it shouldn't be here anymore, they're going to keep cranking out seasons with like really D-list people.
Yeah, they're gonna go from like C-list to D. It's gonna be really bad.
Yes, it's.
I mean, when they keep using every single winner in Legend from Big Brother and Survivor, say what you want, like they're not carrying the show, but they're definitely bringing like the interesting aspect of strategy. And once we start running out of those, it's kind of like, what do we do now? You know, like I'm really curious, like who do we think is actually going to be on next season? Because it's like a lot of the S tier like wants are starting to like trickle down a little bit. Like, we're really about to have to start digging into that new school bag, if you ask me, because like especially in Big Brother, Will's just announced his retirement, so he's not coming.
We'll see.
You already used the big 3. What are you going to do now? It's time to dig into that cookout bag, and then it's like, all right, Taylor, like we're running out of people, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, that actually is a perfect segue into my last question: is if you could pick one person to be on next season, any show, who is it? I don't have an answer prepared.
I've said it every. Oh no, you can go. You want to
go first? No.
I mean, I've said it every year. Y'all can listen to the tapes, but I want Devon on the Traitors. She would be amazing TV as she is on every show that she's on. So Devon is who I want the most on the Traitors.
I love it. I would love to see her on, and I think that's realistic. I think we could see her on the Traitors. What about you, Isaiah?
I want to see my favorite Big Brother player of all time still that I've connected with recently. I want to see Devin Shepard.
Oh yeah, you do love Devin.
You do.
I love Devin, and he would be amazing. I don't know if he would go on TV again. I'm a DM him after this podcast and be like, "Would you go on the Traitors?" I want to see Devin play Traitors. He would be great. He would. What a mess! I would love to see Devin Shepard.
It would be messy if he brings the same energy as BB16.
I think he.
I think he's changed a lot, right? Isaiah?
He has changed, but I feel like if he gets anxious, like he would be such a Tom Sandoval people. If you ask me, he's like, I don't know. I want to see Devin. I need to see this guy. Or Zach Rance, one or the other.
Oh, Zach Rance would be good too.
I could see that actually happening.
Yeah.
What about you, Katie?
Mine is a little bit of a deep cut. I would love to see Melissa Beck, who was on Real World New Orleans. She actually came on Carrie and I's podcast. She's like my number one reality favorite person of all time. So I'd love to see her. She's hilarious. And keeping with the MTV theme, if not her, I know I said one person. Forget it. That's it. That's what I want to see. I want to see Melissa. Melissa, get on the show. If you're watching, if you're listening, we need you on. Yeah, that's my vote. I would say watch her on Real World Homecoming on Paramount Plus, but they took that down too. So too bad. You can't. She was great on it, but they took it down. Well, this is sad because it's the last podcast. Unless someone wants to come on and talk about it, like someone that was on the show that we weren't making fun of for the past 10 weeks or however long the show's been on.
I think that entire cast is so ready to move on after that.
I think so. I think so too. But we got to put it out there.
Yeah.
Got to put the energy out.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
Congratulations to everyone on the draft. We all won.
Oh my God, yes.
We also got a Kumbaya ending. Which
we did get a Kumbaya ending.
We did all win.
Wait, that's so true. The show got a Kumbaya ending and we all got a Kumbaya ending.
Yes.
We all had a winner on our draft. So every one of us, shout out to Cheyenne, she was part of our draft this season, also won. So Isaiah, Javier, and I won the draft. So we'll have to just randomize for next season because we all won.
Yeah. Just so everyone, so I won with Ivar, Katie won with Dylan, Isaiah won with Gabby.
Yes.
And Cheyenne
won with Dolores. So to be fair, Isaiah and I are like the true winners.
Yeah.
We dragged the rest of you, but
you guys
Isaiah
got the honorary wins.
Yeah, you guys got the honorary wins. We got the two true. But yeah, that was the funniest outcome. It's so true. We do all split the money. After taxes, we'll get like $10,000 each.
Yes.
All right. Anything else, Isaiah? Any last thoughts on the Traitors? No.
I don't want to see it again until next year. So
I know I do feel like at this point of the year I get burnt out on the Traitors because it's UK and it's all happening at once and it's talking about it. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to take a break from the Traitors.
I do appreciate that they don't shove it into our face for our summer like Big Brother, and they don't shove 2 seasons in our face like Survivor because they could easily do 2 seasons. I do not want 2 seasons. I like the 1 year break I get. Let me want it back. So we'll see you next year, Traitors.
Yeah. All right. Well, if nothing else, Javier, where can everyone find you in the meantime? I know you're very busy, but hopefully we get to see you on a podcast here and there in between this year and next year.
Yes, you definitely will see me in between this year and next year.
Okay, good.
But no, everyone, you can find me. Like I said, I'm on Twitter still at _the Starboy, and I'm also on Blue Sky at the Starboy. Catch me there sharing all my thoughts on all my favorite shows. And like Katie said, hopefully I'll be back to talk some show. Definitely when Big Brother's back. I know I'll be back at least a few times then, and maybe some other sprinkles here and there. But it's always fun to talk about any reality TV show with you guys. And Gabby Truther here. Shout out to Gabby.
Love that we were able to have you on so much this season, Javier. I know it was TBD, so I'm glad we got the last few weeks with you. Isaiah, what are you up to?
Other than Deal or No Deal Ireland, which check out our exit interview with the most recent eliminated player. Shout out to Peacock and NBC. I hope and pray with our little connection we got, we can maybe do something like exits for the Traitors next year. So I'm gonna definitely work on that. But other than that, you can catch me on the last few episodes for Deal or No Deal Island. And then I'm back on break until I find like either a new show to cover or B like some fun stuff in between. But I'm about to be extremely busy. So do not be surprised if you do not see me till Big Brother. Oh, and me and Chappelle and Gia Worthy are doing another one of those Brain Steel streams for Black Survivor character. The first one did really well. So we want to do another one. So yeah. Thank you for letting me join you guys this season. This was really fun.
Thank you for being here. You can find me at realsimkatie.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. You can catch me maybe on the Dondi recaps moving forward. TBD. It kind of got a little boring the last few episodes, I'm not gonna lie, but I'll stick it out. And yeah, then Same as
Season that
Isaiah.
Will is out.
I said from the get-go that when Will was out, that was my season finale. And
Did you watch the
Loki-
last episode?
Yes, I did. I watched.
Alright, I
I'm gonna
like
keep
that.
watching.
I
I'm gonna
like
keep
that.
watching. It was good. Yeah, no, I'll be back for sure. And then yeah, I don't know. Same as you, Isaiah. If there's another show that is around, I'll cover it. If not, catch me in the summer for Big Brother. But it's been great. It's been fun. It's been a good season. I'm glad that we got a chance to all talk about it together. Thank you, everybody who's been listening, watching, commenting, checking in with us. We've really appreciated it. Give us a follow. I'm going to pull up our little banner here, but just search Silent Podcast pretty much anywhere. You will find us. We're on Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. We're on all the social medias. And you can listen to us anywhere you listen to your audio podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube and Twitch if you prefer to look at our faces. Give us a rating, 5 stars, please. We would love that. And give us a subscription on YouTube. It's free to do that. And we're here. We put out a lot of great content. We're doing, I believe, how do I get this to go away? Oh yeah, okay. We're doing Gia is back this season for Survivor coverage. We have a lot of stuff going on. Still, we have Dondi. We got a lot of stuff on Side Podcast. So just because we're going away doesn't mean there's nothing else for you to listen to. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. And we'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.
Later.